I'm Chantel from Booby Beds Anonymous, for babies who love boobies. Having a nice, relaxing day at home today. My sister's come and taken the little one, so it's so quiet at home, it's amazing. So I thought I'd come out here, sit on my balcony and enjoy the sun. Thought I'd do a little update. It's coming up to sort of nearly a year that I sort of went a little bit loopy and ended up leaving my job as a midwife. So I thought, it'd be a nice little roundup to do a video on, midwifery, what it was like to be a midwife, and the reason why I left, really. So I was qualified midwife for 7 years. Probably worked about 4 years of that. Yeah, because I took two years out for maternity leave with my 2 kids. And I really love the job of being a midwife. It's an incredible job, being there, especially when you've got a nice normal delivery. Don't need any doctors involved, just you and the woman, maybe her partner or a birth partner, going through the labour together, delivering the baby with her, helping her through, seeing the bonding that happens, seeing the baby take their first breath is incredible, absolutely amazing. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the job. The reason why I left is because it got to a point where sort of just doing not enough time to spend with the women, not enough time to help the women, and feeling like you're doing things just to sort of tick a box on the paper to show that it's been done, because the motto in midwifery is if it's not written down, it's not been done. So even if you've been with a woman and I actually remember this, sort of I think it was about early last year, I was looking up, this happened many times, but this is one example, looking after one woman. Remember, I was on the postnatal ward looking after one woman. It got to about 1 o'clock and I'd seen this woman about 6-7 times, because she had so many questions and she needed a lot of help, and I didn't mind, that's what I'm there for. But then the ward manager came and then she said to the ward manager, oh, I've been here, I've not gotten any help or whatever. And the manager looked at the notes and then she came to me and said, you've not seen this woman, you've not been with her all day. And I said, actually, I've seen her about 6-7 times. And because I hadn't spent half an hour writing in her notes, I thought I'll just update the notes, in a little while's time. I'll spend this time actually with her and I'll update the notes in a little while. Because it wasn't written down. Oh, well, you haven't spent any time with her because nothing's in her notes. You just think to yourself, so it's more important for me to actually write in the notes than to actually have the time with the woman and help the woman out. It's just a bit ridiculous. And it sort of got to a point where that's what it felt like. You're just doing stuff to show that you've done it rather than doing it meaningfully. And I don't know if it was like that for everyone, but actually I do know it was like that for a few people, because a few people was having issues around the same time as me. But they just, because I suppose of the age of some people, they just decided to stick it out, because they know in a few years time they're going to be going for their pension. I don't know, but the more I think about it, I think I can't believe I stuck it out for so long. Do you know what I mean? Sort of in a I know there's been a lot in the press about short-lived midwives and stuff like that, and it's completely understandable. When you hear that people don't get a break in 12.5-hour shift, it's true, and you would wonder, how on earth can this happen? It happens. I remember when I was actually being pregnant, and that's why I actually ended up not working on the labour ward when I was pregnant in the end, because even though it was busier on the postnatal ward, it was more stressful knowing that if I needed to pee, being pregnant, you need to pee all the time when you're pregnant, that there'll be no one to look after my woman for 5 minutes. And this literally happened a couple of times, to look after my woman for 5 minutes for me to go to the loo. Do you know what I mean? So you end up it was just a crazy situation. Even when I wasn't pregnant, working 12.5 hours, 13 hours, absolutely no break, or you literally go and sit down for 5 minutes. And that's not a break because you're not getting paid for it. Do you know what I mean? Sort of trying to scoff your food down, not trying to drink too much water, because if you need to go for a pee, you're not going to have time for it. And people might think, you just go to the toilet, why not? But if you've got a woman who's pushing, if you've got a woman who's on a monitor, you're not going to want to leave that woman, because if something happens, you're going to be the one who's, the worst thing is to be on the toilet, an emergency buzzer goes, and it's the woman that's in your room, and you're on the loo, and everyone's like, well, where is she? You've left literally for 2 minutes, and everyone's like, well, where is she? Like, you've been away for 3 hours. It's ridiculous. Oh dear. Now, a lot of people ask, well, why don't you work on a birth centre, but at the moment the hours of the birth centre wouldn't be conducive because obviously I've got young kids, and if you're working in a birth centre, you've usually got to do sort of call outs and stuff like that, which I wouldn't mind if my kids were older, but at the moment it wouldn't really work out for me. I did work on the birth centre a few times of where I was working, but because it was attached to the delivery suite, like the birth centre was incredible, beautiful, you know, new. It was so relaxing. I remember I worked there a couple of times and I felt so relaxed. I had my shoes off, I was, you know, helping out women. But guess what, as soon as your woman needs to go across to the delivery suite, or if there's not enough women on midwives on the delivery suite, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to the delivery suite. So you're going back to Bedlam and the craziness. So yeah, not for me. And you know what, since I've left, I have not been happier. When I think about it, I think to myself, why did I allow myself to feel so stressed for so long and just sort of put up with it rather than do something about it, you know? I remember I used to be on my way to work, and when I think about this, I think this is crazy. I used to be on my way to work and on the train, on the DLR, because I used to get to DLR to work, and I used to be thinking, I hope something happens to the train so that, you know, either it breaks down or someone falls ill or there's an accident. Not an accident where someone dies, just an accident where, you know, it's you know, just minor enough, you know, I've got to escort someone to hospital, you know, just so I have to get to work, you know, really late or not going at all. It got to that sort of point where I was actually dreading going to work, you know. I'd be thinking the night before, oh, you know, if one of my kids was sick, not sick, you know, like terribly sick, just like, you know, like a really bad cold, just so I don't have to go in. Can you imagine? So I don't know why I put up with it for so long, but I suppose when I think about it, it's because, you know, as soon as you tell someone you're a midwife, they're like, oh my god, that's an incredible career, that's amazing, that must be so fulfilling. And you know that it is so fulfilling, but at the end of the day, you know also what all the problems with it is as well. So, you know, I would never say to someone, just like recently I was speaking to someone on Facebook, and she said she's going to do a course, she started in September, you know, she's really excited, and I knew as soon as I asked her what it's going to be, what she's going to say, and she's like, yeah, it's midwifery. I was like, great, that's, well, you know, well done for getting in. She said that she had tried last year, she couldn't get in, and she finally got in this year, because, you know, it is hard to get onto the, it doesn't make any sense, a course that, you know, there's a shortage of midwives, but it's really hard to get onto the course. It makes no sense at all. But anyway, so yeah, she started in September. I was like, well done. So then she asked me why I left, and I'm not gonna lie, I told her all the reasons, you know. The no breaks, the working when you don't want to be working, for example, you know, special days like Christmas or, you know, New Year's or special celebrations. Yeah, looking after so many people and stuff like that. I would never say to someone, you know, don't do it, it's, you know, it's a terrible career. At the end of the day, if it's something you want to do, then you should go ahead and do it, give it a try. You know, everyone's experience is different, so she might get on with it and absolutely love it, think it's the best thing in the absolute world, and that's fine because everyone's different. But at the end of the day, if you do it, you don't like it, then just leave, you know. I think we're all sort of gotten into the idea of, you go to university for 3 years, you're doing a career, and because you spent so much time invested in it, that you've got to stick with it, and that's absolutely not the case. You know, if you do something, even if you spent 10 years training to do this position and you start doing it, or you've been doing it for a while and you think, actually this is no longer for me, then you don't have to do it anymore. You know, we're only on this planet once, so if something doesn't suit you, then don't do it. I know it sounds simplistic because we've all got bills to pay, but guess what, we can have bills to pay for the rest of our lives, you know. So you're going to have to find an alternative or be unhappy for donkey's years until you're about to retire. And the world we're living in now, you're not retiring until you're about 80 years old. So I suggest you, even if you're 50 and you need to quit and make a move, then that's what you need to do. I suppose also I also thought about, you know, what my mum would say and family would say about, you know, spending so much time on a career and then leaving it. But surprisingly, when I told my mum, you know, because she could tell that I was really, really, really not enjoying, you know, doing it. I was always miserable, even when I was like on days off, because I was thinking of, oh my gosh, I'm working in a few days' time. Can you imagine being, you know, off? Because I only work 2 days a week, and you think that's not a lot of time at all. But I'll be off. I can remember sort of on Friday, and thinking, oh my god, I'm working on Sunday night, and sort of the anticipation. Do you know, even the ringtone on my phone, the alarm on my phone, for months afterwards, if I heard that alarm, it was sort of put dread into me. Even months after I'd left, that's how bad it was. I suppose my anxiety was just to a level where it's just crazy, you know. Because now it's fine. I've got the same alarm, and I kept the alarm because I could have obviously changed it, but I kept it because I think if it was anything else, I wouldn't recognise it as time to wake up. But yeah, I used to hear the alarm and be like, oh my god, I've got to go to work, and then I remember I'm not working there anymore, and I'll be like, oh yes, look at this. I'll be so happy. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. But yeah, when I told my mum, you know, she could see how unhappy I was and stuff, so she was like, you know, that's what you want to do, then that's what to do. You know, I think it's just if you're not enjoying if you're not loving what you're doing, you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. So get something else to do. You know, even if for a few months you have to, you know, go and work, I don't know, putting clothes on a hanger in a clothes shop. You know, you're not going to be doing that forever. You could do that as a stopgap in between to make a bit of money while you're deciding what else you're doing. You know, in a few months' time, I might have to do that. But I'm still going to be building my business at the same time because I absolutely love doing it. But you know, if I need a bit of a few spare change in the meantime, then that's what I'll do, and I'll be proud to do it. Yeah. Anyway, it's lovely out here today. Gorgeous. I'm sure you noticed the change in the lights because the sun goes from over there and it comes. No, actually, it started over there, and it's gone all the way back behind my house. So that's the sun, my sun done for today now. Oh dear. Anyway, I suppose the moral of the story is if you're not happy in what you're doing, then don't do it. It's just not worth it. Money is not worth that sort of thing, you know. Since I have started working for myself, fair enough, I'm not absolutely rich, but that doesn't matter. I'm happy in what I'm doing. I love working for myself, you know, waking up each day, being my own boss, doing my own thing, having my own brain, no one telling me when I can pee, when I can eat, whether or not I can spend Christmas with my kids or not. Yeah, I actually have to work Christmas Day. Can you imagine? Working Christmas Day, you've got young kids. That's making me sad. I remember working, it wasn't last, obviously I was off, it was I think 2 years ago when I'd just gone back from maternity leave, and I had to work, it was Christmas Eve night. So I got home on Christmas Day morning at about 9 o'clock, no sleep all night because it was a busy night, and went straight into making Christmas dinner. So I was literally awake for 24 hours. Can you imagine? Because by the time you get home, it's Christmas Day, kids are excited. I suppose the adrenaline just kicked in, but I actually worked. I was actually awake for, I think, 24 straight hours. That is crazy. My goodness. You know, but I suppose everyone's different. Some people are able to sort of block out the noise of, you know, having to sort of rush around and look after so many people. But for me, it's a consciousness thing of if I know a woman's in need, she needs help with breastfeeding, she needs, you know, she just needs help, and to not be able to fully give it to someone because you've got so many other people to look after, to me, it's just not right. So I'm so happy I left. You know, when I got the paper through to say that because I hadn't kept up my PIN, that I was no longer a registered midwife, I was absolutely jumping. I actually celebrated on that day. Got the paper and celebrated. I was like, yes, this weight of being a midwife is no longer on my shoulders. You know, I always get asked, you know, would you go back? And I think to myself, if midwifery was like how it was, I suppose, back in the day, then maybe I would go back. Or if I was going to practice in the Caribbean, how they practice over there, maybe I would go back. I remember I was on transition. Transition is when you're practicing to be a midwife, you're as a student. I think it's in your first year, you decided to go and do something to do with midwifery, just to learn about it more. So I thought, you know, a bit of a free holiday. I'm gonna go back to where I'm from, Grenada, and stay in a hospital there for 2 weeks on the maternity ward. Wow, what a difference. That is like a completely different time. I suppose it's, well, they get their, they practice how we practice, but sort of like, you know, decades behind. I remember I asked someone, oh, so, you know, do you do, you know, like water births here? And then I think she was like the head sister, and she's like, why do you want to have a bath when you're why do you want to have a bath when you're having a baby? And I was just laughing, like, no, as in water birth, like give birth in water. And she looked at me like I was a crazy person. You know, they practice in a way that you know, they have less technology over there. I suppose obviously, you know, things have moved on, so we've got a lot of technology over here. But when it gets to a point where you're sitting there and staring at a machine in someone's labour for hours and hours on end, oh my god. I remember those nights, sitting there, staring at a CTG machine with a little heartbeat on it, just going, thinking, oh my god, is that a deceleration? Getting the doctors in, getting the doctors out, staring at the machine. No, that's not the life for me. Yeah, anyway, in Grenada, yeah, it's just amazing, you know. I suppose it's very, very different over there, because how they do it is they're sort of like a antenatal ward. Men aren't allowed in. When you are in labour, you stay there. When you're about to deliver your baby, you go into these sort of smaller cubicles. They're not very big at all. With a curtain across it, not even a room, just a curtain, and you go in there and you deliver your baby. That's it. Baby's out. You go back to the main bit, and that's it. No fuss, no kerfuffle. But you know, people are really on their game. I really actually enjoyed it. I was thinking of going over there to practice, but I don't think I will. I think I'll just pursue what I'm doing in business on my own for a little while, because I'm quite enjoying it. When I think about when I was working, there's so many sort of like funny stories. One story that I always remember is I was looking after this woman and her partner, a young couple actually, nice young couple. I think they had one child already, a little boy, and because they didn't want any more kids, didn't want any more kids. So the partner decided, as a treat, you know, he's going to buy a pair of nice fresh boobies for his partner, you know, because they thought, not having any more kids, you know, there's no danger here. So he bought a nice pair of boobies for his partner, and a nice little tummy tuck as well, you know, why not, you know, do the goods, gonna have this body for a while, enjoy it. So did that, and then guess what, a few months later she was pregnant. Oh dear, so funny. So I was looking after them in labour, and they was telling me, you know, they wasn't expecting to have another kid and blah blah blah, so that's why she got her boob job done, and you know, lost all this weight and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, that's fair enough. So I was like, you know, so how are you going to feed baby? So she said she's going to give breastfeeding a go. I can't remember if they breastfeed or formula fed their first child, but she said she's going to give breastfeeding a go, and I thought, okay, that's fair enough, fair dues. And the partner looked a bit apprehensive. Obviously supportive, but a little bit apprehensive. So then I remember we went to the postnatal wards and trying to help her to feed, and the look on his face was like, and I know he wasn't doing it on purpose. It's just like, you know, the baby's mouth sort of trying to get onto the lovely round nipple, and his face was like, and I can imagine, if I could hear what his mind was saying, it'll be something like, no, you're ruining them. These lovely perky boobs that he just paid for, can you imagine? And this baby's there just trying to nibble at it. Oh my days, just cracking me. I was laughing so hard. Anyway, oh dear. Yeah, so it's coming up to a year that, well, it's nearly a year. It will be a year in about 4 weeks time actually, that I left the midwifery profession. I've not been back. I can't believe it's been a whole year I've not been back there to see everyone. But I think I'm going to go back. You know, it'll be a nice little round off to go there, see how everyone's doing, and promote my business. Obviously, everything's a business promotion business promotion opportunity. And yeah, so I think I might do that. I'll see what I feel like. Yeah, I'm going to do a few more videos on midwifery, what it was like to be a midwife. I'm actually going to get probably a few midwives on. I think that'd be quite a nice little, because obviously a lot of you are going to be, you know, pregnant or just had babies. So if you so you can ask questions. Yeah, so I think I'll do a couple of videos like that as well. I've got a lot of midwife friends, so I'll see if anyone wants to come and do a little chat with me. But anyway, I've enjoyed sharing my midwifery days with you. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I'd love to know what it was like when you was having your babies. If you had great experiences, if you felt like the midwives had time for you, what sort of births you had, if you had nice water births, had a nice cesarean like I did twice, you know, what birth experiences you had, because everyone has something different and it's always different every time. If you like this video, if you like me sharing my experience of being a midwife with you, just click the like button and do subscribe to my channel to get notifications of every time I get a video out for you. Don't forget to check out my website, babybedsanonymous.co.uk. Got lots of baby vests on there, lots of original designs, and you can even personalise your own vests as well. So I look forward to coming across there and having a little look. And don't forget to subscribe to the Baby Bears family. Don't forget to join the Baby Bears family as well to get a lovely breastfeeding certificate for you to print out and to hang up and enjoy. But anyway, I'm Chantel from Baby Bears Anonymous, babies who love babies. Bye.